welcome back to my channel for the second part of my air painting tutorial. Last time, if you remember, we have done Prismacolor pencil air. So this time we will put paint over it so you can see my method to paint air. I use my little brush, different colors, depend on the color of the air you want. I have done brown air, so I will continue with brown air. So I will use mostly my raw umber, maybe mix with raw sienna. So I just put drop of paint there. I use my golden medium just because it makes the paint less bead. So just a touch, not too much, because I don't want the paint to be translucent. I just want to be to stick on the vinyl. I will add a drop or two of my extender medium, slow dry if you prefer. Mix it well. You can add a drop of water if you want. So it will be very pale for beginning, and I always test my color on few here and back where it will be less noticeable if it's not the right color. It seems great. So we just go over our air that we have drawn the last time with fine brush. Just go lightly over in the darker zone. Don't put paint on the light zone that you have let without air the last time. So I just go over lightly. The more layer you have done with Prismacolor, the less paint you will have to do. So as you see, I don't care if my lines are not thin, it's just a base coat if you want. Just to put some base color on the air. You follow your line, let your hand really soft, relax, and just let your paintbrush follow the direction. Don't overdo it, don't put paint everywhere, just follow the line you have made. I will probably talking less this time because Usually I like to chat while painting, but in English it's very hard for me, so I hope it will not be too boring. If you have trouble with beading, you can add a little more medium. You can try also, if you have not put any varnish, you can try to put some varnish on it, or sealer if you have a sealer. That will help. As you can see, it's not too dark. It's really pale. It's just to give some color to it. Be careful while painting because your hand can touch the paint, so be careful where you put your hand to not stain your hand and then put the paint over the kit. With airdry is not the big problem because it dries very fast. Even with the retarder, it can dry fast. I just put a little amount of paint on my brush, not too much, just enough to put some fine line here and there. You can use the same method for Genesis and for their airdry paint. I know there's a lot of different paint out there. It's the same technique. It's maybe just the medium you will use that will differ. So when you feel you have put the color everywhere, just add a little black, bit of black on your paint, to have a darker color. Use the same mix you already have. If the paint is not liquid enough, you could use a bit of water on top just to make it more manageable. So as you say, don't use a lot of black, just a little touch to darken a bit. This time I think I will use my bigger brush. I like this brush because even if it's big with paint on it, I can have a really fine point for detail. So I can go over. Maybe not dark enough, I can add a bit more black. As you see, I mix my paint brand. This one is Omer de Serre, because I just use a bit, it's not a problem. That's the cool thing with airdry. If it's acrylic, You can mix all you want. I just put too much water. Not more paint, that's my problem. For me, it's the most difficult part. It's to mix my color. I'm not good. I think that's okay. If you were to do blonde hair, you can go straight with raw sienna. You can use Titan Buff too. You can use burnt umber or raw umber mixed with sienna. That will give a great result too. Ah, that's darker. That's what I want. So I just go over my darker line with this. You can play with the wide of the line you do. That will give some nice effects. When I have not so much paint left, I just use the tip of the brush to do fine hair. Don't be afraid to change the direction if you want to. It will give more realism. And that's it. I just follow my previous lines. Play a bit with it. Change some direction, dark some place more. Just gently let your arm and be very relaxed and let it follow the line itself. As I will do brown hair for Gabriel, I will not do a lot of step for the paint, but if you want darker hair, you can go ahead and do more layers with darker and darker and darker as you go. I know it seems easy to look at me doing it, and you will find yourself probably struggling to achieve something that look okay. That's normal. You will probably not be able to do what you have in mind the first few times you will try, but keep trying, keep practicing, it will come. It will come. I think I mess up a bit here. I do just take a bit of water, just erase it before it's dry. Go over it. Wait until it's dry. There's always a side that it's harder than the other. Not that be ready with this side, but be hard to correct. We'll try with the darker color maybe. You will notice the color will be more pale after it dries. Normal. Let it dry completely, then look at it and you can do another coat of paint if you want. Don't do a lot of dark paint before let it dry, because you will end up with darker than you need or want. So I'm about to do the top of the head. It's the more difficult to me. If you have not do much detail with the Prisma color, it will be more work to do with the paint, but it's about the same. Just do the detail with your brush and some paint. If you have understand the first tutorial, you will know that you begin with pale color and go darker and darker. Don't forget the newborn have often more hair on the top of the head than the side, so we can go darker on the top. And if you mess up totally, you are really not happy with the result, it's possible to erase carefully if you have sealed and varnished the baby before. If you have just finished paint, you can use water. It will not erase completely, but that can help. Be careful if you want to use alcohol, because it can strip the paint all the way down to the vinyl. And it's very frustrating when it happens. So I have done all I can do with this color, I think. It's not perfect, but it's my baby, so if I like him, that's okay. That's more dark. Now, what you can do, you have two choices. You can stay with the same color and do another layer on top of this, but just to dark some zone that you want darker, so you can do this, or you can add a bit more black on your mix and go with like we do with we have done with the Prismacolor. Just do some shadow. We will add a drop of retardeur. You have to use more than one color, or at least the same color but different tone. If you use all the same color, it will not look okay. It will look really bad painting hair. You want your hair to look like real hair as much as possible. And real hair have a lot of shade in them. I know it's difficult to see with the positioning of the camera. I will do my best to show as much as I can. So I just go over some line just to give some shadow. Where the hair meet each other. You can do really fine line where it's paler. And it's my way of doing it. It's not the only way. You can find a lot of good tutorial online. Each artist have his own style. So if in the beginning you don't like my air paint style, it's maybe not the best for you to learn. At least it will show you an example and you will find your own way to do it. There are a lot of excellent artists out there who make really nice painted air. And you will develop your own way to do it, your own style. Just keep practice, keep trying, try on new things. That's important. Don't try to copy, it will show. If you try to copy, you will not have the result you want. So you see, I just give some more depth someplace. Sure, in close-up, those air will seem paint. There's no way around it. That's paint air. But in the distance, you can fool some people. That's why I call it a trompe-l'œil. If you just take a quick look, you will think that's more air. If you look closer, you will see the paint. One day I may be able to do air that even close up you will have a hard time to see the difference, but I think it's not for today. I'm not so good that I can do that. So you can notice that I do some bigger line than other. Just add to the depth and the 3D effect. And that's the same thing for all the color. If you want red hair, if you want blonde, that's the same thing. You begin with pale and go with dark. The only exception is for pale blonde. You better start with darker shade, then go with pale on top. I may do another tutorial for blonde, very pale blonde hair. That's not exactly the same way to do it. On the top I go darker because I want more air. Don't be discouraged if you can't achieve what you have in mind. It's totally normal. It's the same thing when you start painting your very first Reborn. You have something in mind and the result is not always what you have thought about. Just have to say to yourself that the next time it will be better. I put some air just on top of the ear that gives some movement. It's nice. So I am almost done, just this side, and after that I think I will go with highlights. Have an overall looking at this head and decide if it's okay. And if you feel that you mess up or it's not what you wanted, just let the head sit some days. Look at it, different light. Then we'll see what you can do with it, how you can improve it. There's always a way to correct mistake. And if you know Bob Ross, the artist, he said there's no mistake, they're just happy little accident. That's about it. That says all. You just go with it, try your best. Don't be afraid to try new things. So I think that's it for the darker shade. Let me try to add a bit here. Just add some definition. Things that seems good. May want to add some more here. And I'm far from a perfectionist. I don't know if it's the same word in English, perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm never really happy with my work. There's always something I think I can improve. Oh, I think I will just call it done. So now I just have to put some highlights, and that will be okay, I think. You know, I can't stop. That's always the same problem. If you want, you can do eyebrows with the paint. I'm not a fan of doing that because I'm afraid. Yes, I'm afraid. I prefer doing them with my pencil. I'm just trying to get the hairline more in front without things that look okay. If you want to try brows, just go with really fine lines. That's a little baby, don't have big air brow. Try to show you without mess up. I think that's it. So now little highlights and we're done. You can do how many layers that you wish, that's perfect. If you want to add some more pale hair, you can go over with rumber without black and add some. I will use my raw sienna with Titan Buff just to have a light, really light color. Not sure if it's light enough. Maybe not. I think that's good. I will not use my medium because I already have a coat of paint, so we will not bead, or not too much, I think. Just harder. Wait until it's dry on your head, then just go beside the ear to test your color. Seems bright. That may be okay. So you just do like we have done for the Prismacolor, just putting some light on this here, just a little touch here and there. I really use my finger a lot just to whip the excess. I want the line to be subtle. Just to give some more 3D effect. So I use most on the top of the head where the light is more coming. I hope you understand my English. I may not do a lot English video. I may try sometime. If you want to see more tutorial, just let me know. I will try my best to do some in English. I have already done 2 tutorials for airdry painting. If something you are interested in to see in English, I may consider doing it. It's hard for me. I'm really exhausted because I have to think of my paint and I have to think of my word too. That's not easy. So I just do some fine line between darker one, just to add some light and really do light touch. Don't want big line. That's it. Don't need much. Just look at the head and see where you can add some without ruining your paint. Seems okay. And with the same color, if you have not done peach fuzz with the Prismacolor, you can do it with paint with the same color. Just do light, short line. It will show off more with the paint than the pencil. So if you want it more apparent, I think. If you want it more apparent, you can do it with the paint. It will show more. You can do some on the ear too if you want. The fine hairline here, can do with slight paint too. Just go slightly over your paint, then follow the head, follow your direction that you have already have, and put very little amount of paint here. Do not overload your brush, because you will have some glob of paint and it's not funny. So we can add more here. I'm not sure what happened, but my house seems to have shake, and my dog is barking. That's strange. So you can have some fine line in the eyebrows. Too much. Just to highlight some here. So that's it. That's done. So it's not long. It's difficult to don't know the word, to master, I think. It's not easy. You will not have it like that for the first time you do it. That's sure. At least, if you are a very talented natural artist person, maybe, but for majority of us, we have to practice a lot. So keep doing it. Try new things. You can practice on a test head if you want. If you're not sure, you can practice on a old belly plate or a strip kit that you may not use anymore. You can also try to do it on a paper, just to practice. So you will be able to have a nice result. Don't be worried, you will have it. When you're done, you have to wait until it's dry, completely dry. You can wait a few hours. Some people wait longer than that, but then you have to varnish it. I use the same varnish for all the doll. It's the same deco art varnish, but this time I use more varnish. I use a paintbrush and I go over with more bigger quantity. When it will dry, it will give some texture to it. Not sure if you can see the brush stroke. Just follow the air with your brush. I think I will just de-zoom. My zoom is too close. Now with the brush, you just follow the air. Give some nice texture. How could you pronounce those words? You go over all the paint. I have tried a lot of technique to varnish over air. I have used some medium that are made to give texture to air, but I never loved the result, so I just go over with my paintbrush and that's it. For the shine, usually this varnish do not give a lot of shine. If you want to add more shine, you can go with just not the ultra matte but the matte varnish, or maybe even satin varnish, but be careful because too much shine, it's not it's not too realistic too, and people usually don't like shine. And what happened with air is that you have to finish somewhere. So if you varnish with a shiny varnish on the cheek, it will not look good. It's hard to manage to like on the face. But what you can do, I do it sometime, when your matte varnish is completely dry, you can go over a few strands of hair with satin varnish. That will give the shine you want without risk of put shine on the face. When I am on the face, what I do is just bounce the excess varnish around those areas where I don't want this brush to show. So I hope you have liked my tutorial. I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to see more acrylic air dry tutorial, just let me know. You can subscribe on my channel. You can put a like if you have liked it, and if you want to see more, just let me know. I will think about it, maybe do a few more English tutorial if you want to laugh a bit. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.